darling? Okay, so we are doing it now. Brand new today, 4 easy payments on this one. And right now you are looking at the angel. But we also have a turkey and a pumpkin for you to choose from. So we're gonna make it hard on you. They're all the same price I'm sorry, they're not all the same price. The pumpkin is 4 payments of $14.96, and that says count your blessings. It's so sweet. I'm gonna let you get into the detail. Here's the angel, and she's on 4 payments of $10.71, and she has a little something to say to you as well. And then lastly, over here we have the turkey, and the turkey is on 4 payments of $15.46. Brand new today. You've got the 4 easy payments on it. All right, tell me a little bit more about them. By the way, they're about 7 1/4 inches high for the most part.
Okay. You know, in the art world, I'm sort of known as a colorist because generally I use a very wide, palette, and I use jewel tones, and I use these earth tones and heavy colors and some metallics and different things like that. So, however, occasionally I will make up part of a line that is either monochromatic, or it's milder, or it's more neutral. And I've got the white woodland and the winter wonderland and the some of the black and gold versions that I've done. Those are all separate segments of the line, and the colors are a lot more subtle and a lot more muted. And in this case, I thought it would be very interesting to take a part of the year that is very colorful, very bright, very spicy when all the leaves start turning and so forth, and rather than going past what I normally do as far as intensity of color, I thought I'd dial it back a little bit and make something a little bit more subdued, almost a monochromatic, where I've got sort of oranges against cream. And so artistically, I thought this would be, not only a nice departure, but something that would be very pleasing. Now the trick is, of course, is to keep it in my style, use the elements that I use so that it is recognizable, as a Jim Shore piece. And once again, see on that piece that you're showing, it goes from the quilt patterns on top, the heavy bas relief on the bottom of all of these, various fall elements and so forth. And there's the guest of honor right there at everyone's dinner. And then you've got the quilt patterns, and it's funny, in this one I threw in one alternate quilt square right there, which quilters sometimes do, just as a point of, see there?
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different than all the rest of them, and that's a point of interest, and a lot of times quilters do that. So when I do stuff like that, it's because I appreciate the contribution that quilters have made to our art.
So it's a nod to them.
Yes.
It's a little nod to them.
All of the things that I do, Jan and I, my wife, we actually wrote a book on the joy of quilting. When people ask me, do I know anything about quilts, I say, I wrote the book. And then we go on up, she's got this cornucopia and everything. So artistically, this is a pretty grand piece.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of everything. The execution here of this shows, the precision of this small detailing, which of course is actually more demanding than some of the bigger stuff, But that's a good piece. But we got all 3 pieces together, and while you say, okay, you can get this one, or you can get that one, or you can get that one. I sculpted and I cast all these create all these pieces, I should say, together. And I intend on them staying together,
Yeah.
And while yes, if you just want one or the other, that's fine. But if you can keep them together, I would appreciate it.
I'd like that. I like that idea. I want to see the pumpkin, the gourd that you have in front of you. As soon as they get off that tight shot, I'm taking it from you, and because I want everyone to see the back of it in every angle. It is absolutely mesmerizing. Look at this. Look at your screen right now. The fantasy and the world and the life that you create going around this pumpkin is a life that is, it's not around much anymore.
Well,
a quieter, easier life, simpler
doing pieces like this has become almost a signature of mine, of telling a story within the story and using an element, whether it's an angel or whether it's a turkey or whether it's a pumpkin or whatever, something that's relevant to the main story, and then having something that is specific, and detailed, to sort of tell the story. I do that a lot using angels as a backdrop, and in this case, of course, it's the pumpkin, so it makes a full piece. But people say, well, what do you do with these things? Well, a lot of people, they love to collect the figural pieces, and they'll collect for a lot of different reasons. Might be just an angel collector, or they might be a Jim Shore collector, or what have you. And but these things, I make these things to be used. I don't want them just set on the shelf and then stay there. I want them to be part of your your celebration, your partying, the time that you take during Thanksgiving, which is a great time for the family to come together. And if these elements were a little bit of that tradition.
And a great way to count your blessings. As I look at the pumpkin, I see the things that really matter. A small, beautiful hometown, a beautiful apple harvest, a smiling scarecrow, blue skies, and a crisp fall air. That's what's important in life and family time.
I count my blessings every day.
Me too. It's important, right? When do we see you again?
You'll see me again.
Oh, 7 minutes. No, 15 minutes. I get to be with you again.